We're going to turn now to the race for the White House. Just 44 days away from Election Day, and the Romney campaign is hoping to get past a rough week. They're now kicking off a bus tour. But will it be enough to regain the momentum? It's your voice, your vote, and ABC's David Kerley has the latest this morning from Washington. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Bianna. The days are slipping away now, and many Republicans are begging Mitt Romney to reset his campaign. The candidate has an answer, which they may not satisfy all those critics who are talking back to him.
Some in the GOP complain Romney is losing. He's not on the trail enough, spending too much time fundraising, as he was last night in California.
Hey, we're just coming to town to see you and keep the campaign going. It's nonstop.
There are calls for big changes for his campaign, which Romney dismisses on 60 Minutes.
I've got a very effective campaign that's doing a very good job, but not everything I say is elegant.
So will he turn around his campaign?
Well, it doesn't need a turnaround. We got a campaign which is tied with the incumbent president of the United States.
That's what Romney says. But while he seizes on the president's line that he can't change Washington from inside and will try to stay focused on jobs, the Romney campaign is changing, with aides promising this week an intense battleground state schedule. Colorado tonight, a bus tour in Ohio, campaigning in Virginia. Romney doesn't lead in any of the battleground states, but the campaign is making inroads in Wisconsin. So not surprisingly, the president, hoping to block any momentum, made a Saturday visit, picking up a Milwaukee brat.
That's what a brat's supposed to look like right there.
And hitting a couple of fundraisers of his own. Even though he won this state by 14 points, the Obama campaign admits this year is harder in Wisconsin, where the president went after Romney's comments that 47% of Americans are victims.
I don't believe in just looking out for workers or businesses or rich or poor or 53% or 47%. I'm going to look out for everybody. That's why I'm running for a second term. That's why I need your vote.
That's what the president wants to talk about when he's out on the campaign trail, Romney's 47% comment. By the way, that was the president's first visit to Wisconsin in 220 days, showing just how Team Obama is hoping to blunt any momentum that Romney may gain in some of those battleground states. Dan?
So thinking that Ryan may help in Wisconsin. David Kerley, thank you. For more on all of this, let's bring in the hardest working man in news. His name is George Stephanopoulos. He's the host of ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos. George, good morning
hey, Dan,
to you. How's that for an intro?
I like that intro.
All right. So Romney's saying that his campaign does not need a reset. His advisors are saying it does. What's your verdict?
Of course it does.
And so what should he do to reset it?
Well, number one, he has to have a do-no-harm strategy. He cannot afford another week defined by a gaffe, knowing that the press is going to pounce on anything that might resemble one. Number two, they're starting to do some smart things right now. Saturate the battleground states with Mitt Romney, because right now he's either behind or barely tied in every single battleground. He's not ahead in any one of them right now. And number three, he's got to focus again hard on the economy. One of the things that is really helping President Obama right now is more and more Americans think the country's going in the right direction, and he's pulled to even with Mitt Romney on the economy.
But there's another big turning point coming up in about 10 days, the debates, the first debate. A lot of people have said this is a real potential opportunity for Mitt Romney. If you're in the room with him, prepping him, and I know you've been in rooms like this before, what are you telling him to do on that night?
Picking up on what I just said, every single answer that Mitt Romney gives in that first debate, which will be the last big audience of the campaign, has to be about the economy, has to be focused on President Obama being a candidate of the status quo, of the way things are right now, and has to offer a specific solution to the problem he addresses, every single one. And of course, he can't make a gaffe in that debate either. If he does, it becomes a story.
So it's only really that first debate is the one with the big audience?
In part because voting has already begun. In some states, it will pick up by the time of the third debate in late October. Likely a third, maybe even more of the country will have already voted.
George, we always love having you on the Weekend Progress. Thank you very much for coming on. George has a big show this morning. His guests include Obama campaign senior advisor David Axelrod and the Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus.